As a writer, as an educated man, uh, as a free thinker, I think it's important for me to explore a lot of aspects here on my writer site. One thing I ask almost every day, sometimes several times a day, why does God allow cruelty and suffering in this world? He can stop it, but he doesn't. And the answer, I think, may be God doesn't allow cruelty and suffering. God allows free will to us, we humans. And we humans are the ones who create and commit cruelty, suffering in the world. On the same hand, though, we also create goodness and kindness, etc. All of those actions, goodness, kindness, cruelty, suffering, are a part of free will. And free will creates, shapes, defines a world made up of cause and effect. If I hit a guy in the head with a hammer and he bleeds and hurts himself, the effect is going to be sadness and sorrow and bleeding and terrible things like that, cause and effect. Conversely, the goodness we do does go on. And so cruelty and evil, they're going to exist hand in hand along with all the good things that we can do on this earth. God doesn't intervene to prevent people from exercising free will. Because if he did, he would deprive us, we human beings, of the choice that makes us human. Otherwise, with the practice of free will, the good, the bad, we'd be angels, doing good things, I imagine, all the time, or whatever it is angels do. We would cease to be human. We would no longer be the special creation that God made. And we know we're special because he says so. Bear in mind that because God withdraws his presence, I'm really speaking to myself now more than you, to remind myself of this. Because he withdraws his presence, doesn't mean he leaves us. The Spirit is always here. We know that to be true because God said, I'll never leave you, I'll never forsake you. There is an added on part of that says, for my people, for my chosen. I don't hold to that. We're all God's people. We're all God's chosen. We're all God's creations. God is loyal to us, and he must be, because he wants us to be loyal to him. God's Spirit never leaves us as a matter of faith, that God is with us in all things. If God does not obscure himself from the world, this world, using pain and suffering and joy and goodness to accomplish obscuring himself, if he were to be here physically present in the world with us, we'd lose our faith simply because we no longer needed it. And we are not creatures, heavenly creatures, of angels who could go on without it. We're humans. So it's a complicated subject, but those are my thoughts on it.